This is F121. This is the mainstream racing series. This is race number 17 of 24. I'm Seb Bauer. Glad you're with us tonight for this probably very intense race from Suzuka, Japan. Konnichiwa to our last third of season 3. Things get more and more interesting, but for the moment let's have a look about our lobby and what we are doing here tonight. We see Jeppe Nielsen, who is in once again. Nice to have you back. The Walshes and Dylan Chapman. That will be a topic for the rest of the night. And we will have us an 18 minutes qualifying, then a 50% race. This is where I wanted to go, the track. Let's have a look at the track. The only one in the whole calendar that is shaped as an 8, means we will cross the track on one certain position. It is a 5.8 kilometers long track, 18 turns. Lap record Lewis Hamilton 1:30.9. I expect our drivers to be around about 3 seconds faster than that. Track difficulty medium. Well, no, for sure not. I would like to say this is one of the most difficult tracks in the whole calendar. Maybe not even the most difficult. At least it is, in my mind, the most difficult track that is not a barrier tunnel only, like Monaco, like Singapore, like Jeddah is. I think this is the most difficult track of those with runout zones and gravel pits. We have sadly not seen this Grand Prix the last 2 seasons due to the ongoing COVID stuff, but we all are, we all hope to go back racing in Suzuka when it is autumn 2020 then. And what else is important? Weather is dynamic, that can be a topic. We are back to regular corner cut. There is some discussion internal going on how to go on with which setting, maybe some more rule changes incoming for the next season, next and ongoing seasons. So this is the settings screen, what we are race with and how we do. Yeah, so what else is important? Important is, of course, our overall standings, and that is really interesting, that is really intense, as we are already here in the last third of the season. If we have us a look at the Drivers' Championship, first of all, Jeppe Nielsen and Dylan Chapman, the third and fourth man in the championship run, they are behind by around about 60 points, both of them. So means if Chapman or Nielsen want to have some stakes left in the championship, they have to win. They have to finish first in more or less every of the still remaining races. So playoff character, you could say, for Chapman and Nielsen. And the Walshes, the battle of the Walshes, the family duel. Thomas Walsh leading our overall championship by, guess what, 0 points. The Walshes are level on points. Tom Walsh is just leading because he had more race victories than his younger brother. 231 points for each of them. And this could turn into a really, really interesting season finale between the Walshes. And it is not the first time that the season is, or the championship is battled between the Walshes. We have seen that already a few times. Actually, almost every season, at least until some late stage. And Thomas Walsh has always been cemented onto the bronze medal, so he was always third. But in this year, I'm not so sure if Tom Walsh will be third again, if he'll make it a habit or not. Because right now he is 60 points ahead of P3. P3, the bronze medal this year, held by Dylan Chapman, at least at the moment. So, yeah, we will see. We will see who of the Walshes will come out atop today, because whoever has the better result of the Walshes today will be the new race, the new driver championship leader, as they go level into this race. And after today we have still 6 races remaining, and yeah, it's a good time, good appointment, you could say, to start achieving some gap to P2 and whoever is behind you. The last races, the races that are still yet to come, are Austin, Bahrain, Spa, Mexico, Singapore, Netherlands, Zandvoort, and Jeddah. So all those races that are left are actually very, very hard. That's more or less, it's actually, I would have to say maybe just Bahrain and Mexico are the only tracks that are of medium difficulty, I want to call it. But especially next week with Austin, similar character of a track that Suzuka has here today, and that is not an easy one. Spa, wow, of course, always a highlight. Then Singapore, one of the hardest tracks in the whole calendar, and Zandvoort, and then the last one, beginning of February, Jeddah, our season finale. No one will know what this race will bring us, and what an important race this will be. Jeddah, the last race, with no one really knowing what is meant to come there from our mainstream racing series drivers. So we are on our way here to Suzuka, Japan. With these first few pictures of the track, and here's right across, the only moment of the whole race calendar where the track crosses itself. Further, as we talked so much about the driver championship, there is of course the Constructors' Championship as well. Mercedes leading the way with a gap of approximately 125 points. So the drivers are level, but the teams are far apart. 403 points for Mercedes, 288 then for Aston Martin, and another 100 points gap then to Red Bull in P3. And then midfield is pretty close then again. Ferrari, McLaren, Alpine battling for the positions 4, 5 and 6. Yeah, and here we are in the pit lane. Japanese pit lane. Everything looks actually like fair weather, finest possible weather, not a single cloud there on the sky. There is a Williams, the first man on the track, and that was, it's not Zucker, it was FX chef Gregory Mortier. There he is. Belgium man, our cook. Best cook in MRS, for sure. Yeah, we have first drivers and fans, I want to call it, that have found our jet box for tonight. Sam Gobert, hello to you. He is racing once again tonight. I think he gave his inaugural race last week. SG Swarm. He is SG Sam Gobert, whatever that swarm means. And Gregory Mortier has posted into the chat box already as we are watching you on your outlap here. Chapman, Dylan Chapman, welcome to you too. Thanks for giving us notification of a potential incoming rain in the race. So as if it wasn't difficult enough, there might be some drizzle, or maybe even more than drizzle. But for the moment, let's focus on what Gregory Mortier on his all-black helmet will deliver us into the first right and right turn combination here in Sector 1, and then the S's. The S's, the original S's that were copied so often in the modern F1. Left, right, seemingly unendlessly left and right combination, concluding in this long left-hander with multiple apexes and the double right. That seems like the Lesmos of Monza. And this was the end of Sector 1. Upwards there was the bridge, the crossing point, then into the hairpin. And accelerating out of a bit of grass. Then this long right-hander coming towards the 100R. No, sorry, this is the spoon hairpin, double apex, very hard to take, very difficult and hard to take, especially if you're racing on a controller like Gregory Mortier is. Mike Taylor is already out. He has already crashed in the S's it was, and then this was 130R, and now the chicane, the last chicane that was remodeled a few years ago, and this was one hot lap of Gregory Mortier, followed by Jeppe Nielsen, who got himself some slipstream in the rear of the Williams. And that was one reason why Jeppe Nielsen was a lot faster, already blasting the Lewis Hamilton lap record by a second. And I expect our drivers to blast a record by even a few more tenths or even seconds in the ongoing qualifying. Dylan Chapman, new provisional pole setter, a slight bit faster than Nielsen was. Zucker ahead of Mortier too. Mike Taylor is already out. That is interesting. That is big for the Constructors' Championship. So he is more like a Valtteri Bottas as a helping hand for Thomas Walsh. Not the biggest help in the championship run. So Iggy Lai in the Ferrari is the only one who tries on mediums. Let's see what this will bring for him. Let's stay with him here for a moment as he is sailing through the S's. Look pretty good. Trying to get every inch out of the track that is allowed. Now towards the hairpin, very difficult to find the right braking point to have your car stable when braking as you come out of this long right-hander. And now, speaking of long right-handers, here's right the next one. Suzuka, by the way, has only one DRS zone, so only the main straight, that is actually not even a straight, that is a slight bow. the only DRS zone, because right here at 130R it would just be too dangerous to allow the rear wings to be opened up. I remember the first years of DRS when there was no restrictions in practice and qualifying, and it was really horrific what some drivers did, how they forced themselves to sail through 130R, and yeah, even places like Orange, they tried and experimented to do some DRS opening it as quickly as you can and stuff like that, and that is just too dangerous. If someone of you still knows the F1, what was it, F1 11, F1 2012 or something, if you still have that game, you can replay it and have a look where you were allowed to open up the rear wing, and you will just shake your head from today's F1 knowledge. So meanwhile, we have Dylan Chapman in the lead, and then Thomas Walsh in third, because there is this man, Jelle, by the name of Achterlücken, my new favorite nickname, Achterlücken. From, where is he? I think Denmark. Definitely my new favorite nickname and PlayStation tag. So Dylan Chapman ahead of Achterlücken, then Thomas Walsh and Dominic Walsh. The top four are all Mercedes engine powered, but we race on equal car performances, of course, so there is no real effect here in the game. Let's have a look at Simixna, Jack Rocknan in the spoon hairpin. Looked pretty smooth and good. But the exit was maybe a little bit too risky, maybe a bit too early on the acceleration pedal. Let's see what the end of the lap will bring for him. Towards the chicane, right, left, right, and then he is in P10, 1.5 seconds behind Chapman, so his time loss on the exit of the spoon was quite big, I would assume. Last one who is still without lap time is Keo Lauvik. He is just starting his hot lap here. And Awkward, he is in the middle sector, right at the halfway mark through the track. Gregory Mortier shot us a message telling us Holland. Does that mean that you are not Belgium but Dutch, and especially from Holland? I expect that shall be the message he wants to tell us. Meanwhile, we watch Awkward traveling through 130R and chicane number 66 he is. And then he moves upwards from P17 to P12, 2.2 seconds behind the new pole setter, who is no one else than Jeppe Nielsen. Nielsen, then Chapman, Achterlücken, Tom Walsh, that is the top 5. And there was a Williams digging himself out of the gravel, and that is our chef, FX chef, Gregory Mortier, who has destroyed the Liqui Moly sponsorship wall there, but luckily this does not do any damage in the game. Real life, not so sure, but in the game this is not a problem. Let's have a look. What is Dylan Chapman doing? He was just at the end of his hot lap. And he improved himself time-wise, but not in a position. And we should see a crash McLaren right ahead. There is yellow, and there is a car in the wall. That was Sam Gobert. That's warm. DNFing. Or, yeah, crashing his car here in the quali. In the SS, maximally P9 for Sam Gobert. Reserve driver replacing our still reigning champion, Peter Simpson. We are searching for a successor for him after this season. So the quali is taking a short breather here. 6 minutes left. Some drivers still running on hot laps. Joel Wiegel is not one of them. Zocker maybe. Improvement after sector 1, 2.5 tenths. Let's see what sector 2 will bring for my fellow German mate. Oh, nope, that was a big mistake, 3 seconds, he will abort this lap, get back to the pits, get some fresh tires and try again. Oop, and Boosted is out too, boosted. At the end of the spoon, no, cannot jump to him quickly enough. Rockman was already ahead. Now the car is vanished by the track marshals. But this is already a big sign that we see 3 drivers being shot out of the qualifying. So you can imagine how things will go by in the race then. Beautiful new camera angle, by the way. Having a look at the red-black helmet of Semixna. Torpedo Jack, how he was called in his early phase of MRS, but he has developed, and I want to say in a good way, and away and out of the Torpedo nickname. So let's have a look. Achter Lücken and Tom Walsh are running on hot laps. Tom Walsh aborted it, and Achter Lücken is third. So for some reason what I just said caused my Amazon Alexa to start speaking to me. Shortly had to mute myself, and she's speaking again to me. Just a moment. So I think or hope that I have muted her for an hour. And we are in our final 3.5 minutes. Let's have a look. Jeppe Nielsen is running on a hot lap. Not improving here. I expect him to come back to the pits really quick and get himself a fresh set of tires and run a hot lap again. Meanwhile, our chef from Holland has DNF'd. FX Chef is out. Next one, who has probably / potentially kissed some barrier there. It was at the final chicane. Destroyed his car in the final turn. And Nielsen is maybe finishing his lap. Is he? Is he not? He is. He is, and improving himself by 0.5 tenth, giving him a 128.8. but likewise, that means his qualifying is finished. He is done. He cannot run another hard lap. So most of the drivers are either in the pits or on their each out lap. Let's have a brief look at Soccer. 4/10, improving after sector 1. Let's see what the spoon will bring for our German Alpine reserve driver. And he is improving by half a second. That's not bad. That would potentially give him starting row number 3. Maybe. Can he finish it strong? He can. P5. Third row, at least for the moment, with 8.5 tenths of gap to Nielsen. That is a good time. Pretty good time. Even ahead of this man, Dominic Walsh. One of our prime championship contenders. Let's see what he can do in his final shot. Sector 1, wow, 3/10 of improvement. So really a lot of time that he found there in the S's. But if you compare it to the time of Jeppe Nielsen, that would not be enough to attack the pole position. Maybe not even to attack the front row. Let's see what Sector 2 will bring for him. At the end of Sector 2, he's improving by 4.5 tenths. That would be, somewhere around his brother. Maybe he can attack Achter Lücken with it. But it will not be enough for the front row if he doesn't find some more time here. Yes, it is. P3 for Dominic Walsh. What is his brother doing? There he is. Oh, he's doing nothing. Invalid lap time for Thomas Walsh. That is a bit of a bummer for his older brother. And Achter Lücken. Can he... he looks a bit slow here. I'm not sure. Yeah, he's slow. Yes, he is slow. Achter Lücken is out. He is finished off the qualifying. At least how it seemed to me. Yep, Achter Lücken is out, Thomas Walsh is out, Dylan Chapman is finished. So this is it. This is it. Everyone is finished and the two who aren't are slow. And coming back to the pits. Congratulations once again to Jeppe Nielsen for another pole position, another strong performance for our Danish man. Followed by both the Mercedes, Chapman and Dom Walsh, 4th, Achter Lücken 5th, then the other Walsh, the other championship contender out of the house of Walsh. Yeah, Gregory Mortier told us, thanks for the info, that he is Belgium. I'm not sure what he meant with Holland then, but yeah, he is a Belgium cook. Best cook in Belgium, at least best Belgium cook I know. And this is our starting grid for the Japanese Grand Prix. We see Jeppe Nielsen in the pole, followed by both the Mercedes, Chapman and Dom Walsh. Then Achter Lücken in 4th. Tom Walsh 5, 6 goes to the soccer late launch upwards. Andrew Mond in 7, who tells us that he is quite satisfied with that. P8 Iggy Lai, 9th is Andrew Mond. sorry, is Jack Rockman, of course. P10, Joel Wiegel, 11th. Then Keo Lauvik, 3 tire options from here onwards. Awkward, 12, 13. Mark Goodman, very silent quality from him. 14, Sam Gobert. 15, Boosted. 16, Gregory Mortier. And 17th, no time set for Mike Taylor. So we know already that the rain could be wet, could be some sort of water and drizzle incoming. Oh yeah, and it is from the start. It is wet, not soaked, not totally wet. I would like to say that this is some sort of intermediate start. And that means there is no tire rule, no tire quality rule. Everyone can start on which tire whoever he or she wants. And we will start our installation lap in 20 seconds. And I will be back with you when we get going. So here we are on our installation lab. I expect everyone to run on Inters, and yes it is. Everyone using the green tire. Haha, name is Ikit. Hello to you, my friend. He's trying to make us all a little bit jealous with greeting us from Monaco. Yeah, it's okay. No, enjoy your time in Monaco. Train the track a little bit so that you are more familiar to it. I expect the pole and start-finish win from you next time MRS travels to Monaco. Nothing else will be accepted, mate. So, as everyone is opting for Inters, as everyone has started the race on Inters, there is actually not a lot of tire strategy to consider. Just do the best you can, stay on the track as good as you can. And as we had already 4 or 5 crashes in the qualifying, this could mean that the race will be a little bit chaotic. Let's just see how things will develop, and if we might see some dry patches later and some DRS attacks in this one single DRS zone that we have. What definitely is a topic is that rear downforce is of even higher importance now. So let's see if anyone might have tweaked the setup a little bit into that direction and is now a lot faster in the race than in the quali. This is the starting grid of our Japanese Grand Prix. We have a jump start already. There was some sort of problem, but for some reason the race is started with already chaos from the start. Achter Lücken upwards by 2 positions. There we see Thomas Walsh who had some problems there in turn 1, a little bit of too high pace into it. The Alpine ahead, Zocker is maybe a little bit jumpy there, that makes it a bit awkward to drive behind him. Let's have a look how things are. Achterlücken is holding up the field here a little bit, not sure if there might has been some damage or some problem for him in the early start. Nevertheless, we got away okay, rather cleanly about the racing things, not cleanly about the jump start, of course. So the race start itself was pretty much out of sync. Not so sure what happened there, but the rest was rather fine, I think. Dylan Chapman, the biggest loser of the start, you could say. He is down by 4 positions. Not sure if he committed a mistake or if he was just being held up by others. Andrew Mont dropped the position to Iggy Lai. Oh, have a look, a whole gaggle of car going on there through 130R, and that in the rain, that is really vicious. Zoom on, don't run into Iggy Lai here. But the rest actually was very, very smooth and everything okay. Did not expect that, I admit. We see Wiegel in for his drive-through penalty for the jump start, and then the only one who had some sort of problems was Keo Lauvik, the second Ferrari, who needs a new nose. Everything else was pretty much okay, I think. And Achterlücken definitely is struggling here in the wet conditions. He was holding up the rest, I want to call it. And now Thomas Walsh has pushed through. Oy, oy, oy. Wild scene here for him going through the dirt. And the drivers behind him desperately try to get ahead of him. Whoa, and that was Iggy Lai running into the rear of Achterlücken. This costed him an end plate. Iggy Lai will need a pit stop. That, I think, is obvious. You cannot risk to run on limited downforce here in Suzuka, especially not in the rain. So Chapman knows that he has to watch out, but on the other hand, he must get ahead of him in order not to allow Tom Walsh, Zocker, and Tom Walsh to run away. And we have a VSC. I think I saw some Haas who went sideways somewhere. Was it Wiegel? Yes, he is lacking a front wing. It must have been UL Wiegel. And all of a sudden, he pit stops. Yeah, okay, Iggy Lai, of course, he needs a new nose. And Achterlücken is into. Maybe there was some damage to Achterlücken's Williams. Yes, new nose for him. That explains why he was holding up so many other drivers. Achterlücken, Iggy Lai using the VSC phase. There was a little bit of damage limitation for them, otherwise they would have dropped even further behind. So while we see still, now he is running again, Joel Wiegel. And here's Jeppe Nielsen. And the lead, he was ahead, a bit more comfortable. I'm not sure if he committed a slight mistake or if he was just extra careful on the VSC phase. Anyway, Dominic Walsh is within striking distance, within the 1 second window. No DRS, of course, due to the wet conditions, though. And they have run away by 2.5 seconds from Zocker, and another 2.5 to Thomas Walsh, and another 2.5 to Dylan Chapman. But the interesting thing is if Dominic Walsh can catch up to Jeppe Nielsen, or if that was really just some sort of momentary lapse from Nielsen, while Walsh was rather close. But it would make sense for Tom Walsh to be a bit faster now in the race than in the quali, because we know that Dominic Walsh tends to create his setup for... Oh no, Zucker is out! What happened there? Oh, there was a big crash! Big crash! And we have a safety car! Safety car due to some collision there in the S's. Let's see if we can see it again, what happened there. Car should be on the left hand side here. Yes, there's still the Alpine. We come at his position right when the track marshals get rid of the wreckage. Yeah, not sure what happened. Sadly, you didn't see it. Zucker had himself a good race. Good race. Was in P4 or 5 or something. But on the other hand, you can so easily lose your car here in Suzuka. And now with the safety car, let's see what our drivers will do. Pit or not? It is not time for slicks yet, that is for sure. Monster Nielsen does not opt for fresh inters, likewise does Tom. Likewise does Tom Walsh. So top 3, none does stop. Chapman not either. Andrew Mant needs a new nose. Oh my, Andrew Mant, he must have had some stakes in that soccer crash. Maybe I saw a first glimpse of yellow. I suppose that soccer just spun in this first moment of yellow, and then maybe Andrew Mant crashed into him and caused soccer to be out of the race, and yeah, to for his nose to detach from the rest of the car, of course. That could be a potential explanation for what has happened. So almost no pit stops, almost only Andrew Mant for some necessary reparations, and I expect us to have one more lap of safety car, and I'm back with you guys when we turn towards the restart. So, during the safety car phase, Andrew Mont gave us a little bit of explanation in the chat box. Andrew Mont is, by the way, one of the most active drivers in the chat box. Of course, only during a safety car phase. When else he could potentially compose a message. And yeah, the Alpine appeared out of nowhere, so I suppose, as earlier said, that Zucker just spun on the grass or something, and Andrew Mont just couldn't avoid him anymore. Bad luck for this situation, of course, for Andrew Mont, but still, on the other hand, some portion of luck to be still with us here in the race. And, by the way, Andrew Mont, it's not soccer, it's soccer. That's the German word for, playing games. Some dialect of a gamer, you could call it. And the safety car is in this lap. So Bernd Meilander's first shift of work is about to end here. Jeppe Nielsen will to some point restart the pace of the velocity, still slow. Now here we go. Dominic Walsh expected it already a little bit earlier, but I think that wasn't the best idea from Nielsen because Dom Walsh wasn't shaken off and he is already in his gearbox. Could not quite go wheel to wheel, but there wasn't a lot missing. And now in the S's, Jeppe Nielsen has the advantage of driving away. On the other hand, Dominic Walsh disadvantage with the dirty air effect. That's why Nielsen is a little bit racing away. Plus, this momentary lapse didn't make it any easier for Dom Walsh anyway. And Thomas Walsh, his brother and championship contender, is right behind him. No mistake allowed for any of the Walshes here. And, if you noticed, the rain has stopped. No more drizzle down to the track. That means it will take us another maybe 5 or 10 laps or something until we might see some slick action. And that is the reason why no one has opted to pit in the last safety car phase from the top runners, because they all know that it will be slick tire time very soon. So Jeppe Nielsen is still in the lead, but now Dominic Walsh is a bit closer again. Half a second the gap, while he has put 1 or 2 tenths on the gap to his brother Tom Walsh behind. We see the first man to pit already. Iggy Lai has a new nose, and have a look, red tires, new nose and new slicks. If that is not maybe a little bit too early here. Yes, we will see a dry race pretty soon, but is that maybe a little tad too soon? I've not depicted the tires that are used, and he'll now drive like on ice. Have a look. Gregory Mortier is running circles around him. I can understand for Iggy Lai that if you need a pit stop now, that you will try your best on slick tires, but he shows us that it's just a little bit too early. So you drivers, if you listen to me while driving, if you have me in one of your ears, the information of the moment is it is a little bit too early for slicks. But the track is improving. Jeppe Nielsen, new fastest lap of the race. While we still watch Iggy Lai swimming over the circuit. He's driving like on ice. German phrase, he is driving on eggs. Anyway, here we are back with the leading group. Jeppe Nielsen, 1.3 seconds away from Dom Walsh, who is then 3.5 tenths ahead of his brother. Interesting thing, Dominic Walsh seems to struggle in the S's, but then get closer to Nielsen again in sector 2 and 3. While on the other hand, Thomas Walsh does not seem to have any dirty air effects. Very close in the rear of his brother. And as the dry patches get more and more, let's see who will be the first one of these drivers to dare and opt to go for slicks. Jack Rockner in P7, very close to Mike Taylor as well. I dropped a few tenths now. And then Mont is close to his teammate Sam Gobert. No pit stops yet. Front runners opt to stay out for one more lap. At least one more lap. Let's see who will be the first. Who is the first to dare into the pits? And then which tire it will be, because we have still 17 laps remaining. Keo Lauvik is the next man in. Keo Lauvik, aha, yellow tires. Both the Ferrari are bold and go for slicks first. Iggy Lai soft, Keo Lauvik mediums. Yeah, that was just a sentence that I wanted to finish. Which tire is the right one? Because with 17.5 laps remaining, can a medium tire make 17 laps? A hard tire could for sure, but in these trickery conditions, I think you really would not want to drive on a hard. Ooh. Keo Lauvik is wiggling his way through sector 2, so it obviously is still a little bit too early for slicks. I repeat myself, all drivers who listen to me, it seems to be a little bit too early still for slicks. Nielsen is still out, Thomas Walsh, Dom Walsh, both are still running on Intus 2, and that is the right decision, I think. Tom Walsh. Swadam is out! Sam Gobert has given up? No, he didn't. Safety car! A safety car it is. Second safety car of the day, of the race. Sam Gobert crashed on the pit entry, I think. Oh my goodness. It takes us still a few seconds until Lauvik can depict it to us. There should be some McLaren anywhere. Oh wow! Right on the wall of the pit entry. Not sure if Mortier can get there quickly enough to show us again. No, the McLaren is already vanished. Oh my goodness, that must have been a big impact. And the game showed Gobert for a split second to be in the pits. For a split second, I suppose that he wanted to go into the pits and he wanted to opt for a tire change, but the slippery conditions just somehow didn't let him. Or maybe he, decided differently in the very last moment and therefore ran into the wall. And Wow, that must have been a huge crash for him. One moment where he's certainly happy that he is just a virtual driver and not a real one. And now, what to do now? Do you pit now or not? If you want to pit, you have to do it now. If you wait until the field is behind safety car, you should not pit anymore. Nielsen does not, but Dominic Walsh does. Nielsen and Tom Walsh went through, while Tom Walsh is in for mediums. Dominic Walsh is gambling on mediums, and Rocknair does so too, I expect. And Wigel. Both the Haases. Let's see if the Haas crew can be fast enough that Joel Wigel doesn't have to wait too long. Yep. Joel Wigel will not have to wait behind Rocknair. Oh, he has. Yes, because he needs a new nose. Pit stop is taking a bit longer because of the new nose. And Sam Gobert. Sam Gobert has told us in the chat box that he lost the rear and wanted to save it, and as some sort of consequence from his saving maneuver, he is out and into the wall. Yeah, Nevis Ikic, clever move from Dominic Walsh. Is it or is it not? That is the big question. It is a clever move if the track dries out within the next 1.5 laps. Because if it doesn't, if the track temperature isn't high enough that it dries, then we have seen how much the Ferraris have swum on the asphalt in the last few laps. But it was a very, very difficult situation. I mentioned it right in the moment when Dominic Walsh went into the pits. I am not sure what was the right call to do here, if coming in or if not. This was a really, really big gamble, a lot to win or to lose with pitting now. Yeah, Sam Gobert, I fully understand how you feel in that moment, but chin up, pit in. Nielsen, Tom Walsh, Chapman, Goodman, Taylor, now all of them is in. After Lücken goes through. Let's have a look, and Dominic Walsh is the new leader. Dominic Walsh is not directly the leader, but indirectly, because after Lücken ahead is still without a pit stop too. So this is a strong sign that the track is drying out enough that you can run on slicks now already. Yeah, and now you're right, Nevis Ikic. Now it definitely has been a big gamble and a big win for Dominic Walsh. Around the halfway mark of the race, it looks like a certain victory for Dominic Walsh. But well, this is just the halfway mark. Still the other half of the race left to be done. In second, by the way, then is Jack Rocknian, and third is Rocknian, fourth Keo Laubig, the Ferrari who pitted just slightly before the safety car phase. Keo Laubig was still very, very cautious, had to be very cautious for one lap, I think it was, on his mediums. But eventually, in the end, this was really the right choice, the really thing to do. Luckily, of course, he didn't know a safety car phase was about to come up. So, that was his lucky moment of the day. And then P5, Nielsen, and 6, Thomas Walsh, 7th, Chapman. Those boys were the losers, I would like to say. The big losers of the safety car phase. And we have us another lap of safety car. And, oh no, safety car is in this lap. Oh wow, very late decision by Michael Masi. We know some strange Masi decisions by now. And Achtel Lücken follows Per Mailander into the pits. And that means we are back to green. Dominic Walsh leading the way, but just barely over Rockman. Here is already the first attack into the new lap, and Rockman is through, but not Lauvik. Wow, what a surprise attack from Rockman. I could imagine that Dominic Walsh was a little bit confused of Achter Lücken going into the pits. He was expecting him to pick up the pace, but instead Jelle turned into the pits. And here's right the counter right after the assist. Well defended from Rockman. Oh, yellow in sector 1. We had some yellow, still yellow. No one DNF. Now we are back to green. Ooh, this will be an interesting second half of the race. The top group is very close. And here's the attack from Nielsen. He's already through. He is through, and Awkward is out. Awkward is out. There was a big crash. We could see a glimpse while scooting through the field. Here it was. There it was. Just into the barrier there, between the hairpin and the spoon. No DS though. Eli, 5 seconds penalty for tagging Mike Taylor. Taylor did receive the same. And Eli is out! Oh my, how could that happen? And now we have a safety car. There is the wreckage of the Ferrari of Eli. Oh my. From from safety car to VSC to safety car, and Wegel is right in again. Racing on fresh mediums, but he's in, and Opossum Lauvik is so too. Yeah, strange scene we had there. A VSC, no, a crash under VSC. That is already some sort of an irony in itself to have a crash under VSC. Leading us to yet another safety car. But okay, it is as it is. Eli now has left the session. And while Bernd Mailander starts to catch the field, the new leader now, Jack Rockman. I will be back with you in a moment. So the safety car is not in this lap because we see who is it? After Lücken and Joel Wiegel trailing the field by so much. So we have one more lap of safety car, and at the end of lap 17, safety car will be in then and give us exactly 10 more laps of racing action. And so I expect every one of our drivers to finish the race on this set of medium they are on right now. So strategy wise, everything is done. Things should only be decided over racing action. Only on track stuff will decide the outcome of this race. So what is important at the moment, with Rogner leading and Dominic Walsh in second, that would mean that he would be up by 6 points then in the end over his brother Tom Walsh, who is in fourth right now. Tom Walsh actually must hope for Jeppe Nielsen to overtake Dominic Walsh rather soon. And Dylan Chapman in P5, he is the lowest of those top runners of our championship contenders field, and with P5, meaning he would drop a few points on the Walshes, that could already mean that his championship chances would cripple down a little bit. Not entirely done, because there are still a handful of races, but he cannot allow any of the Walshes to make up points on him. And right now he would allow it to both the Walshes to increase the gap on him. The safety car will be in this lap. Yet again, the decision came in very late. Not sure why it is so late. Usually it is at the end of sector 2, and now here is the restart. Rogner leading the way, and this time he did it very quick, and no chance for Tom Walsh to get just even close to him. Nielsen is rather close to the top runners. Thomas Walsh cannot think about a attack just yet. Likewise to Chapman and then Grimaud. Mark Goodman had himself a very silent quali, and just as silent is his race, but he is looking into 8 valuable points here for P6. If he can defend it against Mike Taylor and Andrew Mans, behind Mon 3 seconds of gap to Joel Wiegel. Something must have happened there. While after Lücken is racing upwards in P10 for Yelle, his name. Yellow in sector 1, that must have been Kielavik, the lone surviving Ferrari. And Jeppe Nielsen seems to be very close here to Dominic Walsh. Grimaud has left the session. Grimaud is in some sort of internet troubles. I will try to re-invite him very quick. I'm not sure if he can rejoin the race. That would be very sad for him to lose positions because of internet issues. Invitation is out. Not sure though if he can rejoin. I wish him good luck with it. But for the moment, we must focus on what is incoming here. Ragnar leading the way, but it seems he cannot be fast enough to defend, to pull away, and exactly the opposite is happening here because both Walsh and Nielsen are incoming. Bit of a slide there from Dom Walsh. And that puts him into the grasp of Jeppe Nielsen here in 130R. Oh my goodness! Wheel to wheel through 130R. Dom Walsh needed the run-out zone to stay alive. And in the end, Nielsen is through. The Red Bull overtaking a Mercedes in such a situation. We saw that very often in real life this year. And MRS just does so too. When Mercedes versus Red Bull, hot duels. And this was just the next one in this chapter. And that makes the Walsh Bros 3 and 4. And Nielsen can immediately pull away from Dominic Walsh. He is already right behind Ragnar here. And now it looks like that Dominic Walsh is a bit closer again to Nielsen. And the interesting thing is now DRS is enabled. Finally, in lap 20, DRS is enabled. There is just this one DRS zone at on the start-finish bow. But for some reason in this DRS zone you just cannot do anything to defend. So Ragnar is indirectly supplying the DRS for until back to P6. No P5 Chapman it is. So all of them can potentially attack him, can open up the rear wing. Not everyone can attack him, but Monster, I think, will do so. Ragnar defending on the outside lane here for Nielsen. But Ragnar is a strong defender, big battler on the racing track. And that he showed to Nielsen here. He will not give up the lead so easily. Here in the dirty air effect just seems like it is not available. It is out of the game for Nielsen. Saw that already earlier in the race that he seems not to be struggling at all from dirty air in the S's. Better acceleration here out of the hairpin now towards the spoon. A double apex left-hander. He is still sitting almost inside the Ragnar gearbox. But here on the acceleration, Ragnar had a little bit of an advantage now. Slipstream effect for the Red Bull. Will he do it again? No, he doesn't. He doesn't dare again to go wheel to wheel in 130R. He doesn't in the chicane. He is waiting for the DS zone. Right here it is. Oh, but a good acceleration out of the chicane for Ragnar. And Dominic Walsh isn't too far away either. Now this time Nielsen outside lane again. Ragnar inside. This time it could work. Next turn in favor of Nielsen. There was attack. But in the end the Red Bull muscled through against the Haas. Strong scene, strong moment of fighting between Ragnar and Nielsen. It was fair. It was no problem, no unfair maneuver from anyone. Even though there was some moment of touching each other's car, but that was okay. No unsportsmanlike conduct or anything like that from any of the drivers. And it looks like that Nielsen can pull away immediately. But by the looks of things now, it does not look like he would be far away enough to push Rognan out of the S window just within one lap. And that means that Rognan potentially could counter it. Oh, slide there in the chicane, and that has costed him. That has costed him. He's still in DRS, yes. The detection was earlier, so he is still DRS equipped, but next lap he will be out of the DRS zone if he doesn't crawl into the 1 second window again. And next one inside the Haas gearbox, there is Dominic Walsh. While Nielsen is crawling away 1.8 seconds. He is really the fastest through the S's here. Oh wait, Grimo has joined now again after dropping down multiple positions. Very sorry for you, mate. 2 seconds now the gap between Rognan and Nielsen, so as long as the Danish man doesn't throw it away, as long as he doesn't commit a mistake, this should be the race victory for the Red Bull driver. This is more or less safe to say. The question is, who will step on the podium alongside of Jeppe Nielsen? Right now it is Rognan and Dom Walsh, but this is not settled yet. Right now the Walshes would be away of each other by 3 points. Then in the overall standings, Rognan this time defending outside. No DRS for Rognan now onwards. Well, both the Walshes are DRS equipped, and this man in the Aston Martin, Thomas Walsh, knows very well that he cannot allow his brother to sneak away. If Dominic Walsh does overtake Rognan and Thomas Walsh does not, this would mean that out of 3 points of gap, then automatically 6 points it would be. And Tom Walsh just cannot allow this to happen. And have a look, Gregory Mortier right now sitting on P10 or in P10. If I have things in my mind correctly, this would mean first points for him. I know he has already 4 points. He already has 4 points in his hands. Yes, not the first points for him, not the first of the season. Now here we go again, getting closer towards the DRS zone again. Chicane, right-hander, then the DRS zone. And Tom Walsh looks in a better position than Tom is. Dominic Walsh attacking on the outside lane, and this worked. This time it worked. Maybe, or I suppose that Rognan was out of ERS now. No battery charge left to defend himself in the DRS zone, and now Thomas Walsh must do the same than his brother did. Stay close, not let Rognan stand between them. Yellow in sector 3, I think that was Mike Taylor. Yes, Taylor spun in the S's. Not a big thing, I suppose. Oh, and have a look, there is Dylan Chapman. All this battling in front made the second Mercedes close up. Oh, and right now it looks like it would only be a matter of time until Thomas Walsh can attack Rognan. Overtake, slipstream, wheel to wheel into 130R. Can this go well? Yes, it does. It does. Wow, second overtake maneuver we see in 130R. And this has been proved to what I said earlier, that Rognan is not Torpedo Jack anymore, and this is the Walsh battle! This is the Walsh battle! Thomas Walsh is through! Wow, my goodness, Dominic Walsh looked like a sitting duck there on the main straight in the DRS zone. And all of a sudden, his brother is through, and have a look, Rognan dropped another position. Maybe there was some problem for him, maybe his mediums are degrading, I'm not sure, but Rognan dropped 2 positions in just a few turns. And now, what a twist of events. Now it is Dominic Walsh trailing Tom Walsh, what would mean that Tom would be the leader of the overall standings by 3 points. Back and forth again. So the leader, Jeppe Nielsen, 4.5 seconds away. He is having some advantage out of this, of course, if everyone behind is battling, so he can just sneak away easily. And we are already in the penultimate lap, last lap to come up. Yellow Grimo has spun. Nielsen, the safe race winner, as long as he doesn't run his Red Bull into some barrier. And this right now is actually already the last DRS zone, because in the last lap we will not have a DRS zone left. Tom Walsh, left, right, what is it? It is right. Defending himself inside, and his brother is through. No, he's not. No, he's not. Dominic Walsh was too far out of the track there in turn 1 and left the door open for his brother to counter the attack. And Tom Walsh stays second. Thomas Walsh will stay second. What a great family duel we see here. Those boys don't need a race steward, they have mom, they once said in the Discord chat. And yeah, I'm not sure if Mama Walsh is there to sort things out, to decide who will be deserved breakfast tomorrow. Last chance, last call here for P2. Last chance, 130 R wheel to wheel into the final chicane, wheel to wheel still, and in the end it is Thomas Walsh who muscled through and who will win. Not the race, but win P2, you could say. P2 for Thomas Walsh, race winner Jeppe Nielsen. What an end to the race. I mentioned it earlier, my Alexa had some sort of problems and was just nagging me again right in the last lap. And nevertheless, it was a tremendous race finish. We see Keo Lauvik, who is missing a front wing. Not sure what happened there. So we are still waiting for Boosted. There he is. He's lacking a front wing too. Oh my. Now Boosted is through without a front wing. But yeah, we made it. We made it through the race. Whew, exciting race. Exciting race. Mike Taylor is proved to be the driver of the day, at least for the game. From the game. Yeah, once again, a victory for Denmark. Jeppe Nielsen. Great result for him. He would be a potential championship contender if he could make it a bit more regularly. That was actually the prime reason for him to lose points. Not his opponents, rather his real life commitments. But nevertheless, this is the race results after penalties. Jeppe Nielsen has won it ahead of the Walshes. Tom Walsh leading the Walsh duel, leading the overall championship by 3 points now. Third, Dominic Walsh. Fourth is Dylan Chapman. P5, Jack Rognan. P6, Achter Lücken, coming upwards from very far behind already. P7 is Joel Wiegel. 8, Mike Taylor. 9th, Andrew Mont. P10, final point goes to the internet-troubled Mark Goodman. P11, no point in the end for Gregory Mortier, boosted in P12. 13th and last in the classification is Keo Lauvik, having himself some tire gambles with drying out racetrack. And not finished is his teammate Iggy Lai, Awkward, Sam Gobert, and my fellow German, Mr. Zucker. Yeah, Gregory Mortier just told me that I missed the crazy battle for P9. I'm sorry, I am really sorry that I couldn't depict that, but yeah, battle for the podium and the championship lead was just as exciting, at least I hope. Nevertheless, thanks for being with us. Next Wednesday evening, we will then turn towards Austin, USA, Circuit of the Americas. That will be yet another interesting and for sure exciting race. Yeah, I hope you will be with us then again. Stream will go online around about 7:20 p.m. UK, 8:20 p.m. Continental, next Wednesday evening. Until then, have a nice time, have a nice evening, have a great weekend. Not quite Christmas, very soon, but not quite. And then, yeah, stay safe in these times and keep racing.